I have two daughters, Amanda and Christina. Amanda currently lives in Kamloops with a family, a boy and a girl, and they're pretty awesome. And my other daughter, Christina, lives in Calgary. And in fact, she's up at my place right now, enjoying a few days up there. It was nice and quiet. Yeah, and it almost kind of happened by mistake. I was out actually in this very park that once held a disc golf course. As you can see, it's no longer here. But I was walking through here one day and I noticed these people throwing frisbees at targets that I actually thought was part of the fish hatchery. And I got rather intrigued by it. So I went out and bought a $2 Canadian Tire frisbee. I found out very quickly that's not what you want. So very quickly, I met up with some of the other players there, and they kind of took me under their wing, and I bought my very first disc, which was a Shark. Unbelievably, I still have it. It no longer flies. It's been retired. You wouldn't recognize it. It's so beat up. But that's what really got me hooked on the game. I know there's a lot of us older folks who will know this disc well and love it. And believe it or not, it's a DX XD. They don't make them anymore, which is most unfortunate, Innova. However, they're becoming harder to find. I have several. I find that disc has gotten me out of trouble so many times when you have to really shape a shot, especially an Anheuser approach or something to that effect, where you want your disc to fade to right. I think as far as all my other drivers, I can always replace a driver. But that particular disc, for what it does, I have never found anything that did exactly what it does for my hand. Our work was doing really good. I had always wanted to have a piece of land that you could use for just to get away. I started playing disc golf and I thought, I want to build a course. So I started close to Calgary, kept working my way out until I could find something I could afford. You have to get out of town if you want to get the cheaper land. So I wound up finding this gorgeous place west of Sundre. It's 142 acres, not quite a quarter section. When I went to look at it, and it was in February, we drove in. I had my parents with me. We drove in to the middle of the spot, basically where hole 1 and 18 is now. Everybody who's been there knows that spot. I walked 200 yards down one of the paths, turned around to my mother and said, nope, this is it. Turned around, walked back to the truck. I bought the land. That was in 2008. And I put the first course in 2008, all by hand with shears. I built the course to be designed as a tough course. I wanted it to be difficult. I wanted it to challenge the new players who are getting better all the time. Everyone throws farther than they did when I first started. Oh goodness, a long drive here and you throw it a long drive now, incredible difference. Through technology and by people learning more of the skills of actually the mechanics of throwing. Most of the work was done in the bush, so nobody saw me anyway. But yeah, I had a couple of neighbors that were kind of interested in, wondering what it was. Something that I find interesting now is quite often during the day you'll see small airplanes fly over. And sometimes they have to circle around and take a second look because they see all these beautiful cut fairways and they're thinking stick golf. Meanwhile, they look at them and say, oh, those are pretty short for stick golf, but for us, it's gold. I think what influenced me on a lot of it, I have gone to world championships a couple of times, and I came in last or third last or something like that. I didn't care. I wanted the experience. You also learn a lot about a disc golf course when you see one that's been laid out for a professional tournament. And so I didn't just go to play. I went to watch the courses and see how they're built and keep those things in mind as I travel. And in my other travels, I've been to various other places and played a lot of different courses. And some of them, you come off the courses like, why did I even get out of the truck? And I thought, okay, I am not going to build a course like that. So when I got this piece of land in '08, the first thing I did is I walked it. I didn't have a disc in hand, I walked it. And I would see something I liked and say, oh, yeah, that's gotta be on the course. So I'd flag it out. And once you get a bunch of holes that you really, really, really like and want to keep, then you build the rest of the course around them. I do have one crossover on that course. Between hole 1, you have to cross over fairway 3 to get to hole number 2. Once you've played hole number 2, you understand why I had to have that crossover. Because it is an aceable hole, it's an extremely beautiful hole, and it's a really fun one to play and try to get that elusive ace. So in certain cases I broke the rules a little bit because I didn't want crossover, but there I had to do it. I know hole number 2 is my daughter's favorite hole. It's surrounded some beautiful, beautiful big trees, and it's thick and it's quiet, and she likes to go there to sit and think. So I think as far as a personal aspect, that would be that one. It means I'm doing something right. When I bought the land, I didn't buy it just for me. Yes, I own it. I love it. But I wanted to build the courses, and I wanted them to be there for the rest of the people to enjoy as well. I didn't build a private course just so I go and play it. I built a private course so that everybody can go and play it and enjoy it. And that just gives you a really good feeling inside, you know? Some of my very good friends, some of whom you'll be talking to later, they got together and made a plaque in memory of my dad who passed in January. And they mounted it on probably the oldest tree on the property. It's a monster old pine tree. Absolutely stunning. And they removed some of the trees and everything to feature it. So hung up on a big chain, hanging from the tree is in loving memory of Rudy Falconer. Yeah, I cheered up when I saw it. Yeah, so it was absolutely gorgeous. They are by far my number 1, number 2, and number 3 greenskeepers. They'll go up there almost every weekend to help cut grass. I don't know what I'd do without their help. I got to admit, Peter certainly keeps us in stitches. He never misses a joke if there's something available to, and he keeps us all laughing a lot. And there's too many stories to regale, really. But one thing is for sure, when we're together, we're family. We've been really good friends for quite some time now. That being said, I still have to give a shout out to the massive number of volunteers that have come out to my place to help. When we poured the concrete for the first 18 pads, there were somewhere in the neighborhood of 22 people took their Saturday to come out and help. And that in itself just makes me feel really, really good that there's that many people that, you know, want to help me make this course better over time. Back in and around 92, I was a pretty severe alcoholic. Most of my friends know that I don't drink anymore. Occasional glass of wine, that's about it. So I got into drinking pretty heavy, and this actually, I discovered the sport here. And I played for a long time and I was still drinking. But when I quit, I had so much support from all the people around me. Everybody was positive. Nobody tries to, push a beer on you or anything like that. It's like, you've made your choice. It was a choice I had to make. a choice I'm very glad I made. I bought my house 3 months after I quit drinking. So it gives you a bit of an idea of putting your life together. And coming out and playing the disc golf, again, super distraction. You're enjoying a beautiful day outside, not worried about drinking or whatever. And you're around a bunch of people who, they don't care where you're from. They don't care what you do for a living. All they care is that we're having camaraderie and we're having fun. It doesn't matter, rich man, poor man, we all play together. And every time I come back to the origins of the game and how I got into it, I always think about that, about what a great family it can be of various people. Now, I've gotten to know a lot of disc golfers over the years. Couldn't even begin to remember their names. But rarely do you come away with a bad feeling from another player. It's like, cool, we're all good people here. And I think that's what brings out so much of the sport, especially to me, is that you pick up that piece of plastic and you're with your buddies out there, you got a smile on your face, maybe not a super grin at minus 20, but yeah, we play all winter. It's just a chance to get out and enjoy life. It's inexpensive. You don't have to be good at it. You just got to enjoy it. And every now and again, that shot comes off the end of your arm and you look like, wow, why can't I do that every time? That's what keeps you coming back. So you want to strive for that really good shot. And I think it always gives you something to work for. I don't know, other than that, I think I got it pretty well covered there.